grated carrots in the Instant Pot, and it is on the saute setting. The idea is you want to cook the carrots for 6 minutes to get them just kind of started with the cooking process. You also want to be sure to stir pretty often because there's just that little bit of ghee at the bottom of the pot, and you don't want them to stick. There's enough moisture in the carrots where you won't need to worry about them, sticking too much. But this is one of the key elements of making successful gajarela or carrot halwa, is making sure you stir often enough so that it does not burn. You do not want at any point your dish to burn or even start to burn, because then the dish can smell like that and taste like that and it'll ruin the dessert. So we're just going to keep mixing, and we're going to cook this for a total of 6 minutes, and then you're going to need to pressure cook this as well. So after sauteing the carrots for 6 minutes, I've added the milk. Well, hold on. After sauteing the carrots for 6 minutes, I press cancel on the Instant Pot and I add my milk and I stir. You want to give it a really good stir. It's 1.5 cups of milk for an 8-quart pressure cooker, and that's just enough liquid to really cook these carrots down. What we'll end up doing now is basically pushing all the product down from the sides and then pressure cooking these carrots so they cook beautifully. With the milk, we're going to cook them on high for 8 minutes. So here we go. Let's put the lid on. We're going to go ahead and place it right on here. We're going to turn it clockwise. I don't want to redo that video because I really wanted you to see what happens when sometimes you saute and you've got heat and steam built up in your pot. It can take a little bit of strength to push this closed. You might want to wait a minute so that it can cool down just a little bit, but I could tell that it would be okay. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and lock the lid into place. We want to make sure that pressure release valve is set to the sealing position, which is upwards. I'm reading from my instructions in my recipe, so obviously I can't chew gum and walk at the same time, but hopefully you'll get the gist of it. Then we're going to press the pressure cook button and press the pressure level button. So here we go. We're going to go to the panel. We're going to hit our pressure cook button, which will just turn it on. You could use these pre-set options. I tend to go right for the pressure cook button. I like that button because then I can do whatever I want with the time. See how pressure level is low? That's where I cooked it the last time I used this. So we want to change that to high. So it started, right? Oh no, what do? I wasn't ready. It's okay, press cancel. Your best way out of this mess, anytime you make a mistake or this machine is going too fast for you, hit cancel and start over. So let's go, pressure cook. Pressure level needs to be high. It's on low. Let's go ahead and push it. There it is. It's on high, but the time's wrong. It's got to be 8 minutes. Let's adjust it. It will show the time that you cooked last, and that was 3 minutes. Now I'm going to go at 8. So now it's going to tell you that it's going to warm up in a moment. Hold on. It's on, and that's the point at which it starts to warm up. Okay, so cooking is done. We allowed for a 4-minute natural release and then manually release the remaining pressure. So this is safe to open. These are your carrots in here. As soon as you open it, before I do anything else, I'm gonna hit the saute button again. I want it to, whoops, here's what we did wrong there. Look, nothing was happening. Why? I forgot to hit cancel. There you go. It's off. It's not cooking anymore. Now we're going to hit saute. Don't you love it? All of these mistakes are teaching moments. We want the saute to be more, okay? That's going to be the hottest. That's what we want. Let's hit cancel again. I want to show you something. When you hit saute, it can go on 3 levels. Less, normal, and more. More is the hottest. Okay, that has nothing, those 3 levels have nothing to do with closing the pot and pressure cooking. These levels are only for saute. Here we go. The carrots are pressure cooked with the milk. And look, they've cooked down beautifully. We're gonna give them a stir. And now what we wanna do is we wanna cook this basically in 2 parts. You want to first add the sugar, let it cook for about 15 minutes. It's going to just boil off any moisture. There's still moisture in there, right? You've got the milk, you've got the moisture in the carrots. It's going to start to thicken up. So let's put the sugar in. And then after it cooks for that amount of time, you want to add dry milk. Now, if you're going to make it plant-based, I'm going to show you a video on how to do that as well. But in this case, to make it the traditional way, you're going to add the dry milk and let that cook a few minutes as well. And then butter and a few minutes, or ghee is really what we add. We're going to add the sugar. I know it's quite a bit of sugar because this is a dessert, folks. It's okay. You're not going to eat all of this. It's going to make a ton. You're going to give some away, but you're going to enjoy it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Look at this. I'm going to stir it. And here's the thing. As this cooks and cooks down, you are going to have to continue to stir it so that it does not burn. You never want this to get to the point of burning. So you kind of have to stand here and really give it a few stirs, and you'll see what I mean when it all starts to dry up and this will all come together. You can't get this dried up sort of consistency by shutting the lid because the carrots keep releasing the moisture. You want this to dry up, and that's why you've got to do it with an open lid on the saute mode. We're about halfway through cooking, maybe a little more, this gajar or carrot halwa, Gajar halwa. And I just want to show you at this point what it's going to look like and what you're looking for. See these patches of moisture? They are starting to dry up. This whole mixture just looks drier. That's great. And that's what we want. We want it to all pull together and as much moisture as possible to dry up and evaporate, because we don't want this to be soupy. We don't want it to be too wet. That is the beauty of these Indian confections. They need to really cook down and thicken up. We'll add some dried milk. Also, we'll add some ghee at the end. For now, though, let it keep boiling. Now, this is a little bit of an experiment because I said 15 minutes for this step, but this is more product. Normally, the times don't change, the cook times, but this part of the process might change a little bit because it may take longer for the moisture to evaporate. That's what I'm testing right now. So we're going to aim for 15, but we're going to keep it going, keep it cooking, and keep stirring it if we need to. It took about 25 minutes to get to this point, but do you notice how there's no wet bubbles in here, and your gajar is now slightly sticking to the bottom? That's the point that you want to get it. And now, at this point, we're going to add in the dry milk. And you can use a plant-based, dried, whatever you would like. There's so many different options out there now, and we will experiment with them at some point. We're going to mix this through, and we want this to cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. Probably I'll give it about 5, my guess is, but I'll have the recipe for you soon, no worries. This video is really just about technique. So we're going to cook this through, stir it really well to break down all of that dried milk in there. It really just gives this dish the thickness that it needs towards the end. And now we're at the last couple minutes of cooking. I've got butter in here. Typically I would use ghee, but I just had butter. I didn't have ghee at home, so that's what I added in. And this is gonna cook for another 3 minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in the cashews as well as the cardamom powder, and it is gonna be oh so delicious. As soon as the halwa is finished cooking, the ghee has, or the butter, has all melted in and you've really cooked it down and it looks absolutely beautiful. Take this inner pot carefully out of your base, put it on a heat-resistant surface, right on your stovetop is fine, and let this just kind of sit and cool. Add in your nuts, add in your cardamom powder. Cardamom powder is the key to really delicious Indian desserts. Very simple. And we're gonna do some cashews, which I had sauteed in the beginning. We'll add them in now. And they have some ghee on them from the saute from earlier. And then we're just gonna go ahead and give it a stir. And that's essentially all it is. There you have it. That is gajarela or gajar ka halwa. Gajar means carrots, and it is so delicious. You can take a dollop of this, eat it warm. You can put it in the fridge, eat it cold. You can put a dollop on a plate nice and warm and put a big dollop of ice cream, vanilla ice cream right next to it and eat it together. It is addictive, is all I'm going to say. But I hope you'll make it.